Care este
Practic există o legătură de parteneriat, promovarea soluției și pentru suportarea ei pe piața locală. Deci oameni din SMT sunt și vor fi în continuare corecți, încât să poată să instaleze, să poată să ajute clienții și împreună cu Intellinx să promovăm această soluție pe piața locală.
Soluția aceasta este orientată numai către zona financiară bancară sau poate fi și la operatori telecom?
Este o soluție generală care poate fi aplicată în toate zonele unde suspiciunea de fraudă și nevoia de...
You are securing your mail server, your FTP server, your web server. Yes, you are putting a lot of tools to defend yourselves in this area. You are defending, of course, the database. There are special tools to defend the database, to defend your mainframe, to defend your application server. You are putting firewalls to defend yourselves from externals, from people that are trying to invoke the system from outside, hackers and in this kind. You also defend yourself from internal users. You give him a user and a password that he can allow to do A, B, C, D. So that's also a way to defend yourself. But what you are not defending, that if he's using the same user ID and password, but instead of query the account that he should query about, he's querying another account because he needs to leak this information. Someone asked him to give this information. And one of the cases that I was sitting with insurance company, and he said, the CEO of the company came to me, one of our strategic customers came and said, someone gave my full policies and claims information outside to someone that I'm now in court with them. Who did it? No way, it's only a query. Every employee in the organization can do a query to see his status, to print it in a local printer, or even to print it on with pen and paper. Take it out in his pocket and nothing, and no one within the organization will know about it. So that's the area that we thought should be more focused and should put in place some solution in this area. What being done in the market, that many of the tools that were dealing with external fraud and anti-money laundering said, okay, now we will try to invoke also the internal fraud, to take the same environments and the same tools and try to shift them into the internal fraud. These tools were based on logs, existing logs within the system, and some actions within the database. But this not always sufficient when we are talking about internal fraud, because most of the logs, at least from the customers that we have approached already, insufficient data. You don't have all the information. Usually the log, you know that someone has done transaction number 1 to 3 and have done something, but you don't know what it was the account number or what exactly he have done there. And mainly it can be a normal action of this specific person. So know what IP and not, a lot of information is missing. Most critical information is no query. Usually we are logged. People thought, oh, queries is nothing. It's very heavy to put in log everything. If you're taking a system and you put log for any action, it can drop your machine because you need, to put a line for every query, every screen that is moving. So in the logs, the existing logs, you can't find queries. And queries is a big symptom of a fraud. It can be a fraud by himself, or with correlation with another action, you can think, oh, that's a fraud. So there is nothing like that in an existing one. Also, privileged users usually were not logged. What is the privileged users? The IT people. The IT people that can change things, can look at things, and they are the most powerful people. No one logged them. So, and also, there was no reflection on the end user flow. It means fraud, usually in internal fraud, is not one transaction, one action of a person. It's a process over a period of time. He's doing transaction A and then that and then that. And if we are looking on the process, we can understand that there was a fraud. First of all, we are looking on 2 angles. One is the forensic, and the second one is the proactive. I mean the alerts and the proactive approach. Because even the forensic is important. Even if you suspect that there is something, there is a suspicion that something happened, usually it's hard for you to prove it. So what we said, first of all, take your black box, record everything. What is everything? Record every action that the end user, the internal end user, is doing with the back office system. Not everything that he's doing on his desktop. We don't want to enter into the privacy issue, etc. Only what he's doing with the back office, with the main banking application. Each and every transaction that he's doing, we would like to record. Thinking correlation, what there are in call centers. You record the calls. We are trying to do the same, but in a data layer. It means we record all the packets that are going from all the end users to the back office system. Being able to replay them later on, I mean to reconstruct the session, to being able to replay. And on top of it, because we are talking about a lot of data, we have a Google-like search engine. So you have a lot of transactions. Now you want to see who touched a specific account 2 months ago. So you can query the system, give the name, give the period of time, and the system will give you the list of employees that were touching, even queries, everything with this specific person data. Then you can say, okay, I will reply each of them, and I'll see exactly why I've done it, what he's done before that, and after that. It's like a movie. You can see really the screens. And later on, Chagai will give a deeper technical presentation. He will show you cases, real cases that we have with customers. To have the forensic environment, it's important for you to be able to approve that something happened, but you want also to alert according to your profiles, etc. So what Intellinx is coming with a real-time rule engine that you can, define rules according to your policies. You can use the predefined rules that we have in the system from our customers' experience. So you can define a behavior, and the system gives you an option to profile, etc. And Chagai will go into that. And then whenever someone is doing something that is out of range, you will get an alert for that. And the case tool is helping the frauder, the fraud analyst, to investigate the case. It means he got an alert, then he can investigate, he can replay the session, he can decide if he wants to give it to someone else to check, and working the case. He can see the history of cases. He can see why people close something or not. So we are giving the full environment from, in the auditing spectrum, it's from the packet that is going on the line with meaningless until the frauder can work the case. It's one process, one solution. And just a short about what is the technology, because it's very important. As I said before, to make a full log for every transaction can be very heavy if you will add it into your system. But we are doing it externally. We are sniffing the line, just sniffing through switch or through tap device, whatever, and we are getting these packets. Our big brain, the IP of Intellinx, is reverse engineering this data and bringing the user session. So there is no impact on performance, which is very critical to our customers. They don't want us to touch or to change performance of their application. Also, it's a very short installation with almost no risk because you are not touching the current systems. It's scalable architecture. It means we can be from hundreds of employees until dozens of thousands of employees. We are talking about people asking me about data, the size, etc. So we are keeping the data in extremely condensed format, and also in some protocol which are very efficient. It's really not an issue at all. But customer can decide how long he would like to keep online and something to put in the history. He can say, okay, 6 months online. In any case, he puts in a machine for investigation purpose. He can bring the data either from production or from the history. It works the same. So he has a full investigation environment. Another important part, the recordings. Since we are keeping a very sensitive data, it's encrypted and digital signature. We have done it in order to be admissible in court because we have already 2 cases that things are in court, and it's very important to customers to know that everything in Intellinx, because we are dealing with sensitive data, is kept in a very, very secure form. I think.